If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. So today we're going to talk about Slime Language 2, the new album from Young Thug and his YSL crew that I've talked about a lot on this channel so far. If you've been following the channel, you know this is one of the albums that I've covered the most just because it has gone through so many stages. I don't want to get into the whole history of it again. You've heard it a million times. It got announced and then didn't release. It got announced again, didn't release, and we finally got it last Friday on April 16th. And I'm here to give my honest review of this, kind of go over what I expected and how it eventually turned out. So it's been a week now that this album has come out, and I've listened to it several times, not all the way through, but rather certain songs that I picked out that I like the most, that I'm re-listening, of course. I've given every song on this thing about 2 to 3 listens, but here's already a problem that I have with this record. It's very long. It's just very long. It really drags on. It's very tedious to listen to. Some of the instrumentals on here are just cheap. They make it very tough to sit through the whole thing. I do not recommend you listen to this, in one session all the way from top to bottom, as I did twice, because it gets boring. This is partly due to, as I said, the instrumentals used on here. Some of these literally just sound like a type beat from SoundCloud that they just bought for $20 and just put on here, especially with some of the lesser known artists that are featured on here. For example, we have a song called Como Te Ama, on which Hi Dora is featured, who we've also heard on the first one, who is more of like a B tier artist on Young Stoner Life, and has her appearance on here. And this is just a horrible track, and my point is that this instrumental is just very lazy. They've just put her vocals on there, kind of, copy pasted the hook that she did, and that's the song. So stuff like this just really ruins the whole experience of the album. Now, of course, this thing is 23 tracks, and I get the strategy that Thugger is going for. He just puts as many tracks on here as possible, hopes that one of them blows up. Of course, that's how a lot of, artists operate in the game, but still, 23 tracks is just a lot. You should treat this more like a playlist and kind of skip the ones you don't like and listen to the ones you do like, and there are actually quite some highlights on here. I thought the intro track Slatty is it brings high energy to the table. I thought it was more of an intro track. It didn't really have like a very unique sound, but it was still a very good track. Ski featuring Gunna is also one of the highlights on here, because that's like the one that they're promoting the most. They have like a whole challenge on TikTok surrounding this thing. They're really trying to make this blow up. This only features Young Thug and Gunna, which is also a really cool side note that I've went into in my past video on this, which is that Gunna is this time featured as a lead artist besides Thugger too, which shows his involvement and also the progression and evolution of the YSL roster. We have a Travis Scott feature on Diamonds Dancing, which kind of saves that song in the back end of it, but it's just very boring. We also have a Drake feature on Solid, which I thought was going to be the highlight of this thing, but it's really not. Drake's feature on here is horrible. Drake is just very kind of copying their style, trying to fit in with like the YSL sound, and Drake didn't add anything to this track. I am very disappointed by Drake on this, like really, like a lot. Then Cayman Soft featuring Rowdy Rebel had by far the best instrumental on this thing. Rowdy did his thing on here. I love all the love that he's getting recently, and that's why this track is definitely one of the highlights. Another highlight is Paid the Fine featuring Lil Baby. Now, specifically the first minute, because that's Baby's verse. And Baby, to me, when I looked at the track list, I was like, oh, Drake is definitely going to steal the spotlight, the highlight of this thing. But Baby completely destroyed him. Now, I know Baby's verse is not mixed perfectly. I have some problems with the mix on here, with the leveling, but Baby is just evolving as an artist on every new feature and every new track that he does. The performance he delivers on here is very it's still confident, but it's also introspective. I loved his verse. This is something, definitely a highlight that I've also have in my playlist kind of repeating. Proud of You featuring Lil Uzi is a very cute track. We've had that snippet for a whole while. We've talked about it on stream, by the way, every Sunday, 2 p.m. Join the stream. And I thought it was just a cute track. Real is a song that also got a music video for it. Also one of my favorite songs on here. Just has a great summer vibe. It's also mixed pretty well, so that's another highlight. And then from there on, it's just fillers. One highlight is only Moon Man featuring Kid Cudi, but only Cudi saves this thing. This is another track that I think is not just thrown on there to fill it, but that's actually made to have a certain sound, and I love Cudi's part on here. But other than that, we have a Future feature on Superstar that is just very generic. I think Keith's performance on this thing was also very weak, be it on Came Out or on Warrior. I just didn't like his style at all on here. Now, I'm not too big of a Keith fan, but I've listened to all his stuff, and he can do better. I like Big Sean's part on Warrior, though, so that's one thing that's cool. Coil Ray definitely did not perform very well on I Like. Pots and Pans featuring Lil Duke and Nav is not bad. I would have expected it to be worse considering that Nav is on here, but it was not too bad. Skepta didn't really have a great part on Walkstar either. Really Be Slime with YNW Melly and B Slime just got completely destroyed by B Slime's part on here. And the rest is just kind of there. It's not really, it's no highlights. So all in all, this album, you can definitely get some highlights from here. I would recommend you go check out Moon Man. I would recommend you go check out Real, Paid the Fine. If you want to go listen to the, big features, listen to Diamonds Dancing featuring Travis Scott and Solid featuring Drake. Definitely check out the beat on Cayman Saw. Ski is also one if you're into TikTok stuff. My City remix was also not bad with YTB Trench, who was also featured on a Lil Baby song and didn't do too bad. But it's just a filler. It just drags on and drags on. And I don't think this thing pushed anything in terms of musical or cultural, importance or evolution. I don't know. I had more expectations for this. The first one, I liked the first one more, to be honest. But this one just didn't seem as concise and as precise as the first one. But maybe it's just because our expectations were too high coming off of the first one, and we thought it was going to be like a really big step up. Slam Language 3 will probably drop, and we'll just have to see where we go from there. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you thought about this. Did you like this record? Did you dislike it? What are your favorite songs? Who do you think stole the show on here? For me, it's definitely Baby. Even he stole Drake's show. You can't tell me otherwise. Baby is evolving and just going up and up and up as an artist every time he does something. That's my thoughts on this. Let me know yours in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.